way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to a very random but important edition of the Phixated Podcast. I'm your host, literally just in the door of my cousin's house, Mike Aslita, and I'm joined by a very gracious co-host, Regzy Boo, who waited for me to download this Discord onto a different computer as I set up in a basement I'm not familiar with, and we get this thing going. Regs, we are here. An addition.
This is dedication to the podcast is what this is called. We just, stuff happens, we're going to get it done.
Sponsored by White Claw.
Maybe one day. We can
Not
only
yet.
hope, right? We can only hope.
Not yet, but White Claw, if you're listening.
Yeah, right. Or if anybody knows anyone at White Claw who might be listening, just let them know about us.
You think Aaron Nola drinks White Claw?
No, I don't think Aaron Nola drinks White Claws.
Yeah, he's probably more of a beer guy coming from Louis.
He's a Scotch guy, apparently, with the Scotch Club that will apparently continue now in the Phillies clubhouse.
He's going to be just fine.
He's going to have some nice bottles.
Buying bottles of Scotch for like the next 5, 7 years.
Yeah.
He's going to be and beyond. For those of you that have not found out, the reason why you're getting this episode of Phixated is because the Phillies and Aaron Nola agreed to terms on a contract pending his physical, which is happening right now. 7 years, $172 million. It's about 24 a year. And, they're paying him basically like a bottom tier 2, top tier 3. And honestly, Regs, I feel really good right now. For this to happen before the winter meetings.
Yeah. For
this to happen after weeks of crap, he's going to be a Brave,
Boy, nightmare.
And here we are, Regs. He is a Philly for 7 years. Good, bad, indifferent. I feel good. I'm curious to get some of your thoughts. Let's talk out where you're at right now. I have a couple of thoughts myself, but I'll come off of you.
Yeah. So this is a pure reaction video, folks. This news dropped 20 minutes ago?
Yeah, about
Maybe.
20 minutes, half hour.
I had literally sent you a tweet, Aaron Nola based, right? About that they the talks were picking up, and then you texted 5 minutes later, it's done. And here we are. I have so many emotions, I feel like.
All right, well
let's talk it out. So first, let's go first of all.
All right.
Let's just talk money and years. Let's talk the actual contract.
Yeah.
I texted this to you. The Phillies need Aaron Nola to be good, to be really good for the next, let's call it 4 years.
3 to 4.
3 to 4 years. Obviously, the end of a contract where a pitcher is 37, 38, 39 years old, you're not banking on him being a reliable, grab the ball every fifth day, number 2 starter. Those are few and far between. Right. But I think you're hoping that with how Aaron, whatever mechanical change he made with his sidestep or whatever it was, he was pitching much better at the end of the year than he was throughout most of the regular season.
For basically 5 months.
Yes. So, am I happy that going into this contract, he appears to have figured out whatever it was that was messing with him mechanically? Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing news that the pitch clock might get shorter doesn't thrill me a ton for Aaron Nola, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. That's tangential to what we're talking about. Right. But what you keep hearing from the tweets that have continued to come out about this is, and the reason I'm on the happy side is because you're hearing that a ton of teams wanted Aaron Nola because of his durability and reliability and the innings that he's been pitching. Does that make, again, you don't feel great about signing him until he's 39 because he's pitched a lot, but he hopefully, knock on wood, has the ability to still be a very good pitcher for 3 to 4 years. Yeah. And that's what we need. And I think given taking Yamamoto out of this, given what else was out there, I think Nola was at the top of the list for the guys who were out there.
Yep.
And I think getting it done for the years and for, what's it, like 27-ish, 24, 25-ish a year?
24 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really not bad.
I think that's right in the middle of where they both wanted to be. I think the Phillies were closer to in the 20s. Aaron, obviously, and his camp, I'm sure, wanted to be closer to 30. So they were able to meet in the middle. And I think based on what else was out there and him, like, look, potentially going to the Braves or whoever, this worked out the best for the Phillies. And it seems like, from also the stuff we're hearing, that this is what Aaron wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge. Like, if people thought Aaron, like, were questioning if Nola was a Philly guy or not, like, we know now. We know now.
So a couple of things to jump off. The first one being what you just talked about. Multiple sources are saying that he had other offers on the table for more money.
Yep.
And he left them out there. So for me, what I hear there is another moment of clarity that these guys like playing here. They like playing for the organization. They like playing for the fan base. They like playing with one another. Because if there was more money on the table in New York or more money on the table in St. Louis, more money on the table in Atlanta, I have a hard time thinking Atlanta was going to offer more than what the Phillies offered. But, even a comparable,
Yeah.
then, this idea that guys don't like playing in Philly continues to just get washed away. And it should show other players, free agents here and abroad that this is a good place to play, a great place to play. The second thing that you talked about was the other guys out on the market. And we talked about a few of them. Like we talked about Blake Snell, right? And yeah, the guy's going to win his second Cy Young. But Blake Snell is a guy who is erratic. He is inconsistent. He gets hurt. He doesn't make all of his starts. When he's good, he's really damn good. But that ceiling feels like it's always fluctuating based on what he is, right?
Yeah.
There's a guy like Sonny Gray out there.
Yeah.
Sonny Gray's 34 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny Gray is not Aaron Nola, has never been Aaron Nola. Last time he pitched in a big market wasn't great. He wasn't ever an Aaron Nola replacement, right?
Yeah.
And then there are guys that you could have traded for. There's Corbin Burns, there's Dylan Cease. But when you think about those guys, you're giving up really precious assets that maybe you'd like to have around for other trades, for other things. That you don't necessarily need to do if you can just throw money at the person that you wanted to begin with.
Yeah.
At the jump. They've been very clear they want Aaron back, and there were moments where we didn't think it was going to happen, where Dave didn't seem like it was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, Regz, I don't know that this precludes them from a Yamamoto deal. I don't know that this completely shuts them out. We're not here to talk about that, but he was the guy we wanted. The money they gave Nola, again, is like low 2, high 3 starter money. It is not high 2 or 1 starter money. So if they still feel like they want to make those improvements around the edges, or I shouldn't say around the edges, but to really make them a dominant starting rotation, I'm sure Middleton's like, here, let me write the check, right? Yeah. But the good news is that they've already got that part done. Like, Aaron Nola is signed, and we're not even at the winter meetings yet. So one of your biggest hurdles was making sure that you had a number 2. You've got the number 2 now, at least what you deem to be the number 2. If you want to look at the rest of the off season as here's what else we could get, what else we could work for us. Obviously, you need the left field bat.
Yep.
That's got to be on the table, and maybe one reliever to replace Kimbrel, but you can get both of those for relatively cheap. And if you want to throw money at the rest of your starting rotation, go ahead and throw money at the rest of your starting rotation. But what this does is it gives Dombrowski, look, we've already got our guy. Like we know know when our window is. We've got 3 to 4 more years to win a title.
Yeah.
We think Aaron Nola can give us 3 to 4 more years. We had to give him the other 3 years. To make sure that we had him up front. And now that we do, then, we go do whatever else we want to do to fill out this roster. Um, I think if we would have said at the beginning of spring training last year that Aaron Nola was a Philly for 7 more years, we would have been like, okay. The reason we would have been pumped. The reason that we've kind of softened on it as a fan base is because of what happened to him this year. But this year, when you look at the grand scheme of his career, is more of an anomaly than it is the norm. Aaron has not always been a super high home run guy. He's given him up, but not to the extent he gave him up this year. And even those numbers came crashing back to normalcy at the end of the season. The thing that Aaron does for you is he takes the ball every 5th day. Not many guys in baseball do that. Now, that is the first thing to go as time goes on and father time starts to kick in. So there's a chance, Regz, that, that starts to falter a little bit. But they were really careful with him last year. They had a plan to not, kill his innings and destroy his starts and stuff like that. And it wouldn't surprise me if they had a similar plan for this year at the deadline to add some depth, or maybe they go and add another starter depth wise for this year. But yeah, I think all around, man, like this is good. Like the signing itself, the Phillies put themselves back in a position. They have the same starting rotation as of today. Could they upgrade it before next year? Yep, they sure can. Do I think they will? I think it's less likely.
Yeah.
But is it still a possibility? If they think that adding someone like that could really push them forward, again, I think offense is what has kept them out. But imagine having Ranger Suarez starting the game that Chris Sanchez started in the NLCS. You know what I mean? If you had that 4th guy that you knew you could count on.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe their plan is we're just going to get better in the rotation this year. And getting Aaron Nola back is the start to that. So can never have enough starting pitching. That's always been
it's very true.
A memo. Doing this early, doing this now really helps, because in my eyes, Regz, he's the best starting pitcher on the market of what we know is out there. Like, we don't know what Yamamoto looks like in major leagues. We know what he looked like in Japan.
Yeah.
But we know what Aaron Nola does in Major League Baseball, in this league. And I think of the people that were out there, he was the best one.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that's why everyone should be happy with what this is. I think you should be happy that they met in the middle. I think fans should be happy that it's out there that Nola wanted to be back here.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what we look for in Philly guys. This is what we look for. We look for guys who want to be here, who want to spend their prime and, trying to win for Philadelphia. And that's what Aaron Nola wants to do. I think it's a big deal that something got figured out towards the end of the season. Like, when you went through the list of guys affected by the pitch clock, Aaron Nola was somewhere near the top of the list.
Yes.
So whatever got figured out, I'm really happy that it happened before this contract, before we had to sign him again. So you can sort of take that with you into the next few years that, okay, he's going to feel a lot more comfortable out there. I don't think he's ever going to be a pitcher that likes the pitch clock, but now at least he's got a few more tools to deal with it, which should make him a better pitcher. And look, we saw him get out of jams in the playoffs. We saw him get out of situations that he was not getting himself out of during the regular season. So something worked. Something happened that allowed him to pitch better in those situations. So I'm taking solace in both of those facts, and the fact that I think if we had seen this come out and we had signed someone like Blake Snell or Sonny Gray for maybe 4 years and something, no one would be that excited about it.
Yeah.
You'd be happy, but you're absolutely right that Aaron Nola was at the top of everyone's list because of his body of work. And we got him, and we got the guy at the top of everybody's list. We got him to stay with us.
Look, the Atlanta Braves are one of the smartest organizations in baseball. And everybody that I'm reading right now is saying that they were the biggest threat in this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jeff Passan, you know how I feel about this dude.
Yeah.
He is the one guy nationally that I trust with everything. And he is legitimately saying right now that they were the one team, the biggest threat. They had cleared tons of roster space to be able to bring. They got rid of 2 of their pitchers.
Yeah.
Kyle Wright's gone and Mike Soroka's gone. So they were planning on Aaron Nola being the guy. And the Phillies come swooping in, and all it took was a number comparable. Well, I don't know that we'll ever know the Braves' number.
No.
But you're right. He was the top of everybody. He was the top of the Baltimore list. He was the top of their list. He was the top of the Yankees list, the Cardinals list. Those are 4 pretty smart organizations.
Yeah.
And the Phillies come back and get him. And the Phillies are a very smart organization now. They haven't been for the last, for forever, but they are now. So this is good. This is a good thing. What's still left on their shopping list. Certainly, we apologize for not having one of these when they signed Jake Cave the other night.
Yeah.
He'll be
sorry.
joining us on Thursday. But certainly they know that this roster still has holes, and getting this one patched up on November the 19th I can't tell you the importance of this. And I felt like Nola was always that kind of guy who didn't want to be out there very long. Like, I think he wanted to be taken care of.
He never wanted the drama to continue and all that.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be done.
Yeah.
And that's great. And I love that he's that kind of guy. And it feels good to know that we're set, man. Like we've got our rotation done. Could they add to it? Potentially. And if they don't, we're still going to be sitting here come February and saying like our rotation's fine.
Yeah.
Our rotation's fine. We're not going to be worried about the rotation. But if they want to ship off Taijuan Walker and bring in another starter, bring in that left fielder,
I have a feeling that a lot of stuff's going to start dropping now that this was everyone was sort of waiting for the starting pitching thing to happen.
We all thought it was the Ohtani move.
Yeah,
like
that's
we all
true.
Thought Ohtani would be the first, brick to kind of fall.
I feel like that one's probably just going to take a while.
Well, yeah, and you gotta consider that Tommy John, he can't pitch right away. So that's got to be.
I just think I wouldn't be surprised if you see a Snell move soon or a Sonny Gray. Like those kind of things are going to start.
Yeah.
Happening now.
And I'll be curious to know who they end up with because
it will be very interesting.
This whole thing is going to be very, very, very interesting. I'm anxious to see sort of what the. What the upcoming months look like because the Top Gun in my eyes is off the board outside of Yamamoto, and he gets posted on Monday.
And I've seen several tweets that are citing sources saying that the Phillies are not out now on Yamamoto. Like this is not them. This is not them bowing out of that.
You heard it here first. It came right from the pod. I did not think that it was going to preclude them. They have the money to do it. They have the owner that would want to do it. And if they've done their research and they know that he's a guy that can help them, I even think future wise, you lose a Wheeler in the coming years and Yamamoto steps right in with Painter. And in the next and you lose your big horses 1 and 2 with Wheeler and Nola, but as they go, you've got Yamamoto and Painter.
Right. One pushing into his hopeful prime in his late 20s, and the other obviously coming in fresh, as the top 5 prospect that he is.
It's a future type of move. You're winning now, but you're also trying to win down the road.
And if you think about it, now Yamamoto doesn't have to be a stud right away. Like you've got 2 absolute horses in front of him. There's no pressure on that guy to come out and win 16 games and have like a sub 3 ERA. He has now give him the ability to not ease into the MLB, but like get his feet under him. If a couple starts don't go his way, there's not this tremendous pressure that he's your number 1 or number 2 guy coming in.
You just let him start the year easy 4 behind Ranger. This is not the end. I don't believe that this is it. Like if they can find a way to get that Taijuan Walker contract out from under them, and replace it with a Yamamoto contract, then let's roll, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. Middleton, they've smelled it 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I go back to, if you had a fourth starter that you could depend on in that game 5 or that game 3, whatever, game 4 in Arizona, then, you don't get stuck in that situation with the bullpen. You know, you Ranger pitches that game if you have a Yamamoto or something like that.
Yeah.
So look, again, pitching will win titles. Like it can. And I don't believe, I think what the tweets are saying is exactly what I was trying to say earlier, that signing Aaron Nola does not mean that you're done with starting pitching. I actually think signing Aaron Nola this early only lends yourself to saying we're still open to bringing more pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got this out of the way, so now that we know we can get more, but if we don't, we're good.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This is a great start to my Sunday.
Love it.
A great start to my Sunday.
Love it.
We'll be. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add.
No,
I know we want.
Nope.
Yeah,
we're good.
Here's the one thing I'll say: we were really having a hard time with Rhys Hoskins going. Now that we know that we got one of them back, there's a good shot Aaron Nola's. This is it. He's only going to pitch.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, man, like, that makes me happy.
Yeah,
it does. This is the right move. It's I think what we all would have wanted from the start. And again, the years are the years are the years. It's anybody that was in on him was giving him this.
Yeah.
So, and everybody who's in on him is considered to be a really smart organization. So at the end of it all, we got the guy, like you said, I think it was beautifully put. We got the guy at the top of everybody's wish list. And now we get to settle in and watch everybody fight over what I consider to be lesser talents.
Yeah.
At least lesser known talents.
Mm-hmm.
And we can kind of stay on the periphery and maybe sneak in and grab another guy. So great news. We will be back at it again on Thursday night with more reaction. We're going to still follow the Yamamoto posting.
Yeah.
We're going to be in on that all across the board because I think that that's worth following as a Philly fan.
Oh yeah.
For sure right now. And we're going to be following that from the jump. He gets posted on Monday morning, which means that he has 45 days to sign.
Yep.
So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on other free agency and rumors as we kick into the winter meetings, and we'll have an Eagles recap come Friday. So until then, man, great job, Dave.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Aaron Nola is a Philly for life. Love it. We'll catch you later. Take care. Have a good Thanksgiving.
See you, everybody.
Thanks, Aaron.
Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.